Here are 5 surprisingly easy but useful tips that you can use with AI every single day. My name is Reese and I'm currently working for an AI company called HireAlley.com, and in doing so I've been able to dedicate the past 2 to 3 years of my life learning AI in and out, and this is a channel that is dedicated to helping business owners and also people on a personal level adapt and utilize AI. So look, I understand AI is very confusing, it's very overwhelming, and a lot of people don't even know where to start with it. I tried all the best, the worst, and I figured out an entire list of the best and most powerful AI tools, and I've made it completely free. If you head over to my website at reeseharden.com or scan the QR code on the screen right here, you can go over onto my website and figure out more about me, things that I've been working on, but most importantly, there is a completely free AI starting guide on the website. All you gotta do is go over there, enter your name, enter your email address. My gift to you, go over to reeseharden.com now. It's completely free. So the AI we're gonna be talking about today is ChatGPT. Now keep in mind there are other alternatives, but I think ChatGPT is the best, especially for people starting out with AI. So we're gonna be using that in today's guide. I also recommend ChatGPT to everyone that I know, so I'm just going to be recommending it to you guys as well. With that being said, the first bit of advice is something called projects. Projects are essentially folders inside of ChatGPT where you're able to go in there, give the AI context, and have a full list of your previous conversations all about one topic. You know, for example, if you're trying to get healthy, that could be a project. If you're doing development work, that could be a project. If you're writing emails up, that could be a project. The reason that these are so helpful is because instead of having to go start a new conversation and explain what you're trying to do to the AI every single time, you can give it all of that context one time inside of a project folder, and then every time you open it to start a new chat, it has all of that context, all of that data, so then it automatically uses that in every single conversation. An example use case for this is, let's say you're trying to lose some weight. You can go in there and give it all of your information one time. Now instead of having to go into the AI and say, this is my height, this is my weight, this is my goal, what is something I can eat, you can go in there saying, it's dinner time, I'm hungry, what can I eat? Then it's going to pull all of that information and adjust it and give you back feedback based on the context it already has, based on your goals. Again, that's just one use case. I think projects are so helpful, and I see people not using them all the time, and they're just starting new conversations and going over and just feeding the AI the exact same thing over and over and over again. And I promise you, if you start using projects in your everyday life, it's going to buy you back so much time. You can come back to this video and thank me later. It's literally one of the best things ever. So all you're going to want to do to be able to do this is go into ChatGPT, and then from here you're going to want to go over to your left side here. Now if you are on mobile, this may look a little bit different, so you may have to look around, but like on desktop, you go over here onto your left sidebar, you're going to see projects, and all you have to do is hit new project. From there you can name this whatever you like. Let's say you're just trying to get healthy, we can name this getting healthy. Once you do that, all you have to do is hit create project, and then all it's going to do is going to create a new tab down here in your sidebar. So then if you actually go up here to click add files, you can actually upload files in here, and that's going to be the data we were talking about. So then anytime you start a new conversation and use chats inside of this project, it'll always pull the data from here. So again, in this case, you can give it all of your goals, your height, your weight, whatever, and it will always pull that context anytime you're in a conversation. And the best thing about this is if you actually type anything in here, you're actually going to be able to see all of your previous chats in this project are all saved nice and neat inside of this project. So no matter what, you're going to be able to easily go back and manage all of your past projects, see your past conversations, and it's all going to be stored in one place. So this second one is a tip that I just figured out the other day that I've been using non-stop. It is so helpful, and it's honestly one of the best things ever, and it's something called deep research. What deep research is essentially telling the AI to spend the next 20 to 30 minutes and dive through every single source on the internet that it can come through and gather a whole bunch of information to present to you. Think of it like this. So let's say you had a specific topic that you want to learn about, or that you have a specific topic that you needed all the relevant information about. For example, let's say you're about to go buy a new home, or you are about to go buy a new car. All you have to do is go into ChatGPT, turn on deep research so it's enabled, then ask it your question. Once you ask it a question, it'll ask you about 5 more questions just to get more context of what it needs to be doing more research upon. Once you answer those questions, it'll spend the next 20 to 30 minutes diving through every single resource on the internet, so that way it can come back to you and present you with a big text file. Literally, it's a downloadable PDF of all of the different information that it was able to find. Not only that, it also references the sources it got it from, so you can go read it yourself, and it also can explain it in any way that you would like. Again, this is a super helpful one because if you're trying to dive into something more specific, or you're going to want every little detail about something, doing this will allow you to have all of that information in one go. Now, I do have the ChatGPT Pro version, which means I pay about $20 to $25 a month for it, and I'm able to get about 20 of these, I believe, a month, and I've not used them all because you should only be using this for a very specific use case. Like if it's something you really want to learn, or it's something that you're about to make a big investment in, then I recommend turning on deep research. But if it's just a generic question, you don't need deep research for it. So make sure you don't have deep research on every time. Just only have it on for specific specific use cases, but again, I think it's a very useful tool that a lot of people aren't utilizing that you need to make sure you're using every single day. So our third tip is going to be using ChatGPT to plan out your day and also do scheduling. A lot of people didn't know about this. You can actually go into your ChatGPT app and set schedules for specific times, and then you can just say how you would like it to schedule you. So for example, you can go into ChatGPT and say, at every day at 8 a.m., please notify me about this. You can set up schedules so it automatically will notify you when you want something done. Or let's say you're like me and you have 100 things happening and you can never remember which one to work on, or you just try working on all of them and then it takes forever to get things done. If you just go into ChatGPT and just kind of tell it a list of things that you're trying to accomplish, it can help you organize that into a doable to-do list, the most optimized to-do list at that. So it's going to be able to tell you do this first because it will help this one out later. It's honestly one of the best things ever, and a lot of people don't use it. They just sit there struggling. Like, use ChatGPT, have it plan your day for you, and if you don't like it, just tell it that and it'll change it around. It's literally like a personal assistant. You know, for the longest time, a lot of businesses were always talking about the best thing any entrepreneur owner or business owner could get is an assistant, because they're able to handle tasks like that. They're able to handle your email responses, your scheduling throughout the day, your meetings, everything like that you would let an assistant handle. The issue is an assistant can cost you a lot of money versus an AI agent is basically free and it can do all of that and more. So make sure you go in there and play around with it, and remember, make sure every single day you go into ChatGPT. If you get stuck, if you don't know where to start, tell it all the information. It'll help you make a complete to-do list on what you can do step by step. The fourth thing that a lot of people don't know about is something called study mode. So what study mode is basically ChatGPT that works with you one-on-one to help you achieve something. So there's a term in the business AI world that's something called human in the loop. What that basically means is it's not AI doing every single thing. AI will do 90% of the work for you, but it will not do that remaining 10%. And that's exactly how you come out ahead with AI. If you're somebody that's going to have AI do everything for you, it's not going to be the best. If you have AI do all the annoyance, the 90% of the load for you, then you do the remaining 10%. That's how you're going to come out ahead in AI. Think of it like this. If you're trying to eat healthy and you tell the AI agent, I'm trying to eat healthy, can I eat chicken? And that's the only context it knows. It's going to say yes because chicken is generally considered healthy. But what you didn't specify was that it was fried chicken, or that it was chicken with a whole bunch of sauces on it. So now what it thought was healthy, it just technically gave you the wrong answer just because it didn't have the full context. And that's what happens every single day, but at scale with all of these different AIs. Whether you're utilizing AI in a business or whether you're utilizing AI in your day-to-day like me, if you do not have every bit of context given to the AI, which by the way isn't possible, it'll always get something wrong. That's why it is important to prioritize that 90% done by AI, 10% done by human. So bringing that back, that is exactly why study mode is one of the best things that you can do. Because instead of having AI always do something for you to where you end up just not remembering it, or every single time you're going to be relying on AI, meaning if AI makes a mistake, it gets stuck, you're not going to know what to do. Have it work with you one-on-one in study mode. It will help you study significantly faster, I promise you. It will literally ask you questions one-on-one to try and figure out what you know before to start asking you questions. It is literally a tutor one-on-one, which yet again, I think is so crazy, because if you just look back 4 years, 5 years, you would have had to pay a lot of money for a one-on-one tutor to sit down with you and to teach you step by step how to do something. And depending on what you're learning, it's even more, right? If you're going to be learning an important skill, anything in the development space, you'd have had to pay a lot of money to go pay someone who knows about this already to help teach you. Now you just go to AI, turn on study mode, and it will ask you questions to figure out what you do know and then help you learn the remaining step. It's honestly just such a big workflow increase that if you aren't using study mode, it's going to be difficult for you to learn at the same rate as anybody who is. It genuinely is, because you don't got to spend that time finding the sources, finding the correct information, thinking of the questions, going back and forth. It will do all of that for you, so you can only focus on the learning and the remembering part. And if you struggle, it'll help you until you learn it. It has patience, it's always there, and it's never going to go anywhere, and it doesn't cost you more money for the more questions. It doesn't cost you more money for the longer you use it. So the fifth tip that I always recommend to people is going to be a communication upgrade. Think of it like this. If you are someone who owns any kind of business, whether it's big, small, side hustle, when you're dealing with customers, it can probably sometimes be very agitating, or maybe you can't keep it professional. Maybe you're responding to an email to a colleague. Maybe you're responding to an email to your boss. Have AI write the professional email for you to where all you have to do is review it. ChatGPT and other AI tools can already almost connect directly into your email inbox to already start summarizing a lot of your work and a lot of your emails. But it's not just that. Let's say you had documentation. If you're a developer, you know how important documentation is. Or if you're a salesperson that has to go through these scripts, or just maybe you have documentation because that's just what your job needs you to read you through. Instead of having to go page by page, you can feed all that to ChatGPT and just say, help me learn this. And again, going back to study mode, right? Turn on study mode. Give it all of that documentation. It'll help you learn it with the right sources. So if you use it for communication, you're gonna get faster, clearer, and more precise responses every single time. Now keep in mind, AI isn't the best. It does sound like AI a lot of the times, but you don't have to go word for word, copy for copy. All you gotta do is have it write the response and you can go summarize it in your own words. Again, kind of going back to the human in the loop. A lot of people don't understand that. They think that they need to copy and paste everything AI gives them, and then it's gonna look sloppy, it's gonna look like AI, and then you're not coming out ahead in that. But again, if you use AI to your advantage and you're not just copying and pasting everything, it can be a massive workflow increase, and it just makes you more professional, right? Who doesn't love that? So wrapping all of this up, what I think a lot of people need to take away from this video is that AI can do 90% of the work for you, but we are not at the point yet where it's going to be doing 100% of the work for you. If you're having AI do every single thing for you, you're going to run into issues. You're going to run into problems. But if you're able to use AI to navigate through that and to do 90% of it for you, to where you can come in and do the remaining 10%, whether that's learning, whether that's coding, whether that's anything, that's very important for a lot of people to take away, because I've seen a lot of people just try and use AI and they're like, this thing sucks, it's not working. I promise you AI doesn't suck. And personally, I believe that if a business doesn't adapt AI within the next 5 years, your business isn't going to be around much longer. With that being said, make sure you guys subscribe, comment down if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next one.